the nation's capital, obviously, where they prefer stability. It's very rare to see these kind of protests. And what we're hearing is at least a dozen maybe jilted investors in some of the investment products coming from this big shadow bank, Zhongrong International Trust. Of course, the shadow banking industry in China provides a critical part of financing as far as loans to enterprises. The board secretary, Wang Qiang, earlier this week admitting that they've missed payments on a batch of products on August 8th, on top of missed payments in July. At least 30 products are overdue, and Zhongrong also saying it has halted redemptions. And that board secretary, Wang, saying they don't have an immediate plan to cover payments.
If you think where you live is expensive, I want you to check out these prices, guys. This is the price of apartments, per square meter in these cities, per square meter, right? So if you have 100 square meter apartment, you have to times it by this. So in Beijing, $16,400 per square meter. Shanghai, $17,000. Shenzhen, $16,000. Right? These prices are for outside of the city center. $8,000, $9,400, $7,900. I told you guys before that people in China cannot afford the houses, that the houses are so much more expensive relative to the income. And this just proves my point. So I want to explain to you how you buy a home in China. It's not like what you're used to, trust me. Okay, in China, the way that this works is you actually pay full price for the house before it's even built. You pay full price for the house before it's even built. So the developers take your money before they even lay the foundation, and you start paying a mortgage on a house before it's even built. I'm sure it's not going to take long for you to understand why that's a problem. Okay? Why it's a problem is, first of all, the developer has no incentive to make the house super high quality. You've already paid for it. They can give you a box as long as they deliver on the square footage. They can give you a shell, and you're already paying a mortgage on it, and they know that you're going to keep paying. Not only that, they're taking your money and they're developing other properties, right, with your money so they can pre-sell more houses, right? Check this out. The wave of mortgage boycotts across China has exposed the precarious state of the country's real estate sector. Hundreds of thousands of angry homeowners have refused, at least temporarily, to make mortgage payments to protest stalled construction by property developers. This means developers' funds have dried up and banks risk losing some $350 million in bad loans. Let me explain this in more detail, y'all. Basically, what's happening is, for whatever reason, right, these developers, despite being paid ahead of time, are running out of money, right? This is all running off the backs of individuals, and the bank has to front run this, right? They're running out of money. So what's happening is people are paying mortgages on houses that don't exist, and developers can't finish the houses due to, not having the money because they've overbuilt. They've taken your money, and instead of just building your one house, they've built, 5 to 10 houses. And if people stop paying, they run out of money, right? So, I mean, this is crazy. As you can see here, roughly 90% of new properties in China were pre-sold last year. 90%. And why is this important? This is important because China is the backstop for every stock in America. Almost every company gets some products, some services, something from China. So if China collapses, it's going to affect every stock. Now, I didn't even know this until I looked this up. This is crazy. China is the biggest real estate market in the entire world. These numbers are for 2016, so they're a bit out of date. So it's even higher. Reportedly, the market is worth 42 trillion now. United States coming in at 34.1. They represent 42%, I think. China, United States, 42% of all of the real estate value in the entire world. Now, I want you to think about that. If you add up all of the square footage of China and all of the square footage of the United States, it doesn't equal 21% of the world. There's much more real estate in Russia and Africa. Those areas are much bigger than the United. Here, they didn't say North America. The United States and China. The two, but they represent 42% of the value. Probably 1% of the land or less, but 42% of the value. If that doesn't tell you we're in a bubble, I don't know what. But I just want you guys to understand what's at stake here, okay? If this thing collapses, not only is it going to affect China real estate, it's going to affect the entire Chinese economy, banks, local businesses. If the banks go out of business, then local businesses don't have money. It's going to be 2008 all over again, but it's going to be worse because China is bigger. And as I said, all U.S. stocks for the most part are getting something from China, right? So, I mean, this is huge. This is just, this is absolutely huge, right? So, what does this have to do with Bitcoin? First of all, let me show you this. How would you play this? Okay, if you're a stock guy, right? For those of y'all don't know, BSG stands for Black Stock Guy. Okay, because when I was doing stock analysis and stuff like this, I was the only black dude in the room. So I just named myself Black Stock Guy because there were none. Anyway, if you were going to play this, this is how I would play this. This is Caterpillar stock. Who is Caterpillar? Caterpillar makes all of the machinery basically for any type of construction, real estate development, all of that, all around the world. And it's an easy way to play the market. So because trust, if people aren't building and stuff like that, if they don't have no money, then you're going to have a lot of, Caterpillar machines come back on the market, so on and so forth. Stuff going to be sold and parted out and all that, and nobody's going to be buying new machines. It's really that simple, right? So Caterpillar, has been kicking butt up until most recently. So the first thing you want to look for is there cracks, right? Is there cracks in the system? And look at here. In the last quarter, insiders have been selling shares. In fact, if you click on this button, I'm not going to click on it because I want to show something else. If you click on this button, it will show you that they've only been selling and none of the insiders have been buying. None of them have been buying. That's called a clue. And, their stock price is near all-time highs, right? And if we take a look at this right here, I don't even want to show y'all charts and stuff. Just look at the performance. Over the last 3 months, it's down 3%. 1 month is down 9%. So that means the drop is accelerating. 5-day performance, 5.65%. So it's down more in the last 5 days than it is the last 3 months. Okay, so the decline is accelerating, right? So if you're a stock person, you could, take a short on this or whatever. I'm going to show you a much, much better way. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to try to do whatever they can to, hold this stock price up because it's an important stock, right? But watch now how China has been pivoting, right? 2021, China imposed a blanket ban on all crypto activities, including Bitcoin mining, right? But yet, recently, they decided that it was okay for certain areas, specifically Hong Kong, to start trading Bitcoin. And that was announced. I want you to see this on September 27th, 2023, that Hong Kong could start trading Bitcoin. Now, watch this now. Okay? I only deal in stuff that makes sense. It's not about none of that other crap. Does it make sense? Where's the fundamental? All right, I want to take you to, like I said, when was that introduced? September 27th. Okay, the price here on the 25th was 26,200. And look, as soon as it announced, look what happened. It started going up from there, dropped down a little bit. Now we're up some more. Now, you tell me if that's a clue or not, right? For all of y'all out there that's trading Bitcoin and stuff, like, bro, you just need to stop. You know what I'm saying? There's too much fundamental going on for you to be on the wrong side of it. And I've been saying that some of y'all ain't gonna listen, but there's evidence right here. Okay, so now what I want to see is, do we see increased volume? Okay, so here's the historical, according to this site, the historical volume chart. Now I want to go back to 2020, right? Pandemic time. That's right before Bitcoin and stuff started pumping. That's right before all the money printing. And just pay attention to Binance because they're the big dogs. Look at the volume: 10 billion, 6 billion. This is Bitcoin volume: 3 billion, 5 billion, 2 billion. And then in November, it starts picking up: 16 billion, 16 billion, 21 billion, 9, 15, right? 26 billion in December, another 26 billion, 63 billion in January. It's growing exponentially. You're going to see here it's going to be 120 billion day or something like that. Can I catch it? Well, trust me, it happened. 47. Here we go. There's 105, 136 billion, right? 125, 185 billion. Okay, to May 2021, right? And if you want to see the prices, how it's corresponding, May 2021, right? We're at, basically 60,000 Bitcoin, 50-something thousand Bitcoin, right before going up even higher in November 2021. November historically is the most bullish month for Bitcoin. It's October. Don't know if you know that, right? So now I want to look at the current volume. And look, we're at 18, 25, 22, 22, 29. It's just kind of simmering: 20, 21, 25, right? So this is scary. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. This is scary for the shorts, because what this tells me is all of these people here, they're not even paying attention yet. We haven't hit nowhere near 100 billion volume on Binance and stuff like that, right? So they haven't even come in yet. We're going up on lower volume. You can see it down here. Do you see this little bit down here? Here's the big volume, May and November 2021 going into January. Look at the giant volume. Look at where we are now. We're going up on lower volume. Okay, so when, not if, when this happens, when banks start collapsing in China, it's going to send shockwaves through the Bitcoin and overall crypto market, but specifically Bitcoin, right? Because they have recently, September 27th, changed their stance. Why have they changed their stance? Because they know that their money ain't worth nothing. They know it, right? They know it. So it's like, look, we got to change the stance at some level because we're going to be putting our money. We don't like the dollar. If you're China, you don't want to promote the dollar. You hate the United States, real talk. You don't want to promote the dollar. So what are they going to do? They're going to buy Bitcoin. And you still see too many people that are short Bitcoin. I haven't even factored this yet, right? You could basically look at this like short float. If a stock has like 10, 15% short float, I get excited. I'm like, oh, this is back in the day when I was trading options and stuff. I'm like, oh, this about to fly. You can essentially look at this as short float. So if a bank collapses in China, or even one of these real estate companies collapse in China, right? With all of these people that are short, like Bitcoin could go to 100K in like 2 days, 3 days. 2 to 3 days. I'm telling you. Right? Because the entire Bitcoin market right now, I think, is around 500 billion, 600 billion. Right? In order to get out of this, guys, they're going to have to print money. And this is just China. You think this won't have any effect on the United States? They're interconnected. They hate each other, but they interconnected. It's like a bad relationship with an ex. You know what I'm saying? You know she terrible for you, but she make the best food. So every time you want a good meal, you always going over to your ex house. You know what I mean? Right? That's basically what it is. You can't live without her. That's China and the United States. They need each other. Because all the products that China is making, there's only one country that can buy all that stuff, and that's the United States. We are the consumers. China is the producers. That's actually a problem long term. But they're so over leveraged right now with the real estate market, it has to crash. It must crash. That's the only way that it's going to, recover. Then hopefully they have to build a different system. Okay, so I'm telling you guys. Then you factor this, like this is crazy. So again, just all you got to do, go back and look at what I've been talking about. I've been saying the same thing. There's too many of y'all thinking that, oh, it's too late for me and Bitcoin and stuff. No, it's not. Right? We take a chance on other things. Other things have done well. It's continuing to do well. Who knows? That could be the next Bitcoin. We don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look at some of my previous videos. You need to research 100, right? That's introducing an entirely new technology. But Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, it's not going to hit 100,000. It's not going to hit 200,000. This is going to be 1 million. It's going to be 1 million. If China decides to back their real estate industry, I'm not saying that they are. I'm just giving you what could happen. If they decide to back any of their real estate processes with Bitcoin instead of their currency, that's going to go to 1 million. Just China, not the United States, not Europe, not any other country. Because why? The only way that you get out of this is printing money. Okay, houses is too high in the United States too. I've talked about that as well. Prices are going up too high. People can't afford it. If China crashes, some element of the United States will crash. It won't be as bad, but it will happen. And the only way to get out of it is to print money. The governments around the world do not have a business. They have no business. They only have a magic printer machine. That's what they have. And they can turn it on and off however they want. And they have turned it off the last year and a half. And they're about to start turning it back on. And those that are in now will benefit the most. And if you're watching this video, you need to take action. Stop sitting on the sidelines. If you want financial freedom, if you want to be away from this, if you don't want your house to lose value, or at least you want to have a hedge for that, you need to be in Bitcoin. You need to be in crypto. It's your boy BSG. I'm gonna holla at y'all in the next video.